Well, I think they will as well. Unfortunately, I thought that if Cleveland had a chance, I agree with you. They would have had to steal game one. That was an open opportunity for them, and they were not able to do that. Here's the amazing thing to me about it. I know he's old. I know James Jones is not that great of a player. I hear people talking about how great of a shooter he is. I'm still yet to see that over the last few years. But you've got Mike Miller that's on the bench as well. I mean, isn't it a little surprising that as veteran as he is, even in his age, he's so inconsistent and he can't come in and give them some credible minutes? Yeah. No, it wasn't. One other question, and I'll let you go, which it looks like I think the consensus is that they're not going to win this series. They being Cleveland. What will people say about LeBron's legacy? Now I know baseball, basketball guys like you and I, we know what's happening. We follow this, but there's Johnny Joe Blow out there. See, LeBron can't win a big one. What do you think the overall thought would be of LeBron if they don't win this series? Yep. Yep, I would agree with you as well. Hey, Larry, hey, thanks for joining us. We're going to let you run, and we'll get you on periodically on the Saturday morning show. People love, well, I'm sure we'll love to hear you. You got some good stuff, man, and you bring them. That's why I like you. So you have a great weekend. Enjoy your kids as well. And by the way, well, I'll certainly talk to you before Father's Day, but happy Father's Day. I'm starting it. Okay, man. Bye bye. That's Larry. Ridley. He is our NBA correspondent. I've known Larry now for almost 15 years. Uh, really cool cat, no doubt about that. If you knew his backstory, you'd understand why I say that. I don't really uh, say that about a lot of people, but really a cool cat and admire him a lot, and you know has really taken off and has had an opportunity to do some great things in sports, and we'll keep you posted and keep him on the air as much as we can here on Joynet Radio. Just want to give you an idea. Those are the types of guests that we'll give you. All right. Yeah, we'll get local guests as well. There's no doubt about that. But we're also going to get guests from all over the nation. There's more going on in the nation of sports, in the world of sports, than just Arkansas. All right. Arkansas doesn't hold a candle to some of the things that are going on nationally. And that doesn't mean I won't get Razorbacks on it. Talk Arkansas sports. I will. Eventually, as we get closer to football season, we will do a roundup of what do they call it? The Great American Conference now. Back when I was playing, it was the AIC. So Southern Arkansas University, where I attended school and played football. Henderson, Monticello, who else? Arkansas Tech, Washita Baptist, Harding. We'll get all those schools on and talk to the coaches and see what the perspectives are for the upcoming year. And of course, we'll talk to some of the Razorbacks as well. But again, this is going to be a national show where we're going to look at national issues. We're going to look outside in as opposed to inside out. So I hope you'll enjoy that. And of course, the phone lines are always open as 855-525-5683. That's how you get in touch with me. Just to give you an idea, the breaks will be around 10, 20, 40, and 50. So we've got a break coming up here in just a moment. But that's to give you an idea of how the format will be set up. And we will have guests as well. We will have promos. My goal is to have the guests lined up so we can cut a promo during the week so you can know who's coming up, so you can set your dials and tell your friends to make sure you go out and check out joynetradio.com because so-and-so is going to be on the air. So it's going to be a fun show. We'll eventually get my good buddy Greg Pogue on, who writes for the Daily News Journal, as well as Fox Sports South, and he covers the SEC. We'll get his insight on what's happening around the SEC as we move forward as well. He's got a lot of great insight. And of course, he and I did a sports radio show for 15 years on Morning Drive in Nashville, Tennessee. So we kind of know each other pretty good, and our children grew up together. He has a daughter, I have a son. Both of them attended Middle Tennessee State and graduated this year with their undergrads. And I tell you what, next Saturday, if he's available, I will reach out and get Rick Stockstill on. He's the head coach for the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. And here's why I'm going to get him on. If you haven't seen the article, and it's all over the internet, you know, now that college is changing and they're talking about paying players a stipend, the leftover of what is college scholarship, approximately $5,000 to $6,000 per player, particularly in the Big Five conferences. It's going to affect some of the smaller schools. And Middle Tennessee, those mid-majors, as we like to call them, it's going to affect all those schools because a lot of those schools can't afford to give those players that type of money. Now, there may be some left over, but they're talking about giving every player on scholarship, that's regardless of their sports discipline, this money. So we'll see how that goes. But to make a long story short, Rick Stockstill decided that he's going to forego $400,000 to make sure that athletes can be taken care of. Now, that's what coaches ought to be doing. Stockstill makes about $790,000 a year as a mid-major football coach, which I think is entirely too much. But he does. And he was slated to get a $100,000 raise beginning this season, at the end of this year, and for the next 4 years, which would have been a total of $400K, and he decided to forego the $400K so the athletes could be taken care of. Now that's what coaches ought to be doing. We're going to go out and take a break. We're going to be back in just a moment. I'll put out a call to Cheerleader Girl. Hopefully she can call us. And we'll follow up on this Rick Stockstill story as well. I know Rick, good guy as well. And this is a classic example of just how good he is. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on Jordan Radio. Join us Saturday, June 13th for a Father's Family Affair on historic Orlando Smith College campus. A day to accentuate, celebrate, and of course motivate positive fathers in our community. Join us for family fun and games, and of course great music. On that day, we'll uplift and show some love to the dynamic men in our lives, our brothers, uncles, and fathers. Business, business, and nonprofits, claim your spot now for early bird discounts. Volunteers are needed, so call 610-568, and you can make a tax-deductible donation at fathersfamilyaffair.com. Proceeds benefit of the solution. Tell a friend, tell your church, tell everybody. But make sure you bring your father to a Father's Family Affair June 13th, the day before Father's Day for Orlando Smith College. Get updates at fathersfamilyaffair.com. Together, we can rebuild and re-strengthen our communities, one father at a time.
Power to the people. I'm Crystal Seamers, the mastermind and nurturer of Columbus Creative Arts and Activism and Soccer Custom Home Body. The mission of Columbus Creative is to foster activism through artistic expression, signature programming, public relations, and creative consultation. Columbus Creative is energized by the spirit of my father, attorney Christopher Mercer. He encouraged my dreams, talent, creativity, and ability to communicate well through personal connections and writing. I want to live my life in the way that he did by serving through my art. Shocking means fresh and Swahili. My design philosophy is fresh, creative, eclectic, cultural, and universal. Using a bold mix of patterns, colors, and natural materials, Shocking has custom home decor, wearable signature pieces, and luxury body care products. Stay connected with me. ColumbusCreativeArtActivism.org or Facebook.com/CCSAFI.
Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Donnie Dave. I'm here every Saturday morning. You might want to say. Here every Saturday morning from 9 to 10. We're talking sports. We talk sports every Saturday morning, so make sure you check us out. Let's go out to the phone lines and see who we got on the line. Is this cheerleader girl? Well, hey, cheerleader girl. Thanks for joining me this morning. Well, here now, let me introduce cheerleader girl. Let me give you a formal introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, we have cheerleader girl on the line. Now, cheerleader girl has been a staple on my other show where she comes in periodically and make predictions. And last football season, cheerleader girl was like 10 or 11 games above 500, picking the game straight up. We're not gambling and just having fun picking games. And I thought I'd get someone who, no offense, cheerleader girl, that don't know much about football and see what you can do. Because, all these specialists and stuff think they're so good. But you did pretty good last football season. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she kind of uses the color method, what's her favorite color and go from there. But no, I'm just kidding. But but periodically we'll get Juliet on the Saturday morning show as well and let people hear you and make some predictions. Now you made a prediction for the finals the other day and didn't seem to work out too well for you, at least so far. So yeah, I think you picked Cleveland to sweep. Okay, okay, that's right. So they've got to win the next four games. How you feeling about that? Yeah, yeah. You, you really believe that, don't you? Or are you just trying to? Uh, are you mean Golden State, or are you saying Cleveland? Well, I don't know. I'm going to tell you, it's not looking good for the homeboys right now, especially with Kyrie Irving going out. It's not looking good, but we'll see. We'll see. And also, let's see, the Belmont Stakes is going to take place this afternoon. Do you want to? And did we do it? Did we pick that the other day? Oh, that's right, you did. So um, you are picking American Pharaoh to go ahead and win the Triple Crown. So, you know what? And I'm going to be honest with you, cheerleader girl. The more that I've thought about it, I'm picking them too. I am. I would like to see a Triple Crown. I'm going to pick them too. So, um, but so yeah, that's what we'll do. So you pick Cleveland to win in five, which that ain't gonna happen. But hey, you know, strange aliens have landed thousands of years ago on Earth, the way they're telling us. And let's see, you're picking the Triple Crown winner today, the first time since 1977 for history will be made at the Belmont State. How about that? All right, cheerleader girl. Huh? Well, it can, and a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. So, uh, so we'll see. But I'm going to be honest with you. I really do think, um, and I know a lot of people are picking other horses because of what has taken place the last month or so. But I really think it can happen. Now, I was hoping that it was rain, but if because American Pharoah really runs well in the rain, but it's not going to be rain. But I think it's going to happen. So I'm kind of sticking with you on that. Okay. Oh, that's right. I did say that if Cleveland won in five, you'd get a free key lime pie, and then of course if and then of course the Belmont, you get another key lime pie. So doesn't seem like that's going to work out. Well, you still have a chance for the Belmont, so we'll see. We'll see. If American Pharoah wins the Belmont and they win the Triple Crown, I will make you a key lime pie. Okay. All right, cheerleader girl. Hey, I just want to introduce you to my new audience. We'll be having cheerleader girl on, and you'll be able to call and talk. Well, you won't be able to call. We might have her in the studio one Saturday morning where you can call and talk to her as well if we can get her up out of bed. Hey, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you. Next time. Okay. All right. Bye bye. You will get to know cheerleader girl. Fun person to be around. Talks a lot of noise. Good people. I only surround myself with good people, folks. So cheerleader girl is one of them. And we started her off on the other show, and it went over real well. And I decided that hey, some of the things that I was doing there, I'll do here. That old saying, you don't you don't change the wheel when it's rolling by. That's not an old saying. I just made that up, but you get what I'm saying. Hey, look, we got to go out and take our last break. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on K. I was going to say the other station. I had put the whole hour and not said it, and I just did it. On joynetradio.com.
Director of Columbus Creative Arts and Activism and Soccer Coaching Home Body. The mission of Columbus Creative is to foster activism through artistic expression, signature programming, public relations, and creative consultation. Columbus Creative is energized by the spirit of nonviolence and consistency mindset. We encourage my dreams, talents, creativity, and the ability to communicate well through personal connections and writing. I want to live my life in the way that you do by serving through my art. Stop being expressed in Swahili. My design
What's up?
Join us Saturday, June 13th for a Father's Family Affair on historic Philander Smith College campus. A day to accentuate, celebrate, and of course motivate positive fathers in our community. Join us for family fun and games, and of course great music. On that day, we'll uplift and show some love to the dynamic men in our lives, our brothers, uncles, and fathers. Business, vendors, and nonprofits claim your spot now for early bird discounts. Volunteers are needed, so call 615-554-0568, and you can make a tax-deductible donation at afathersfamilyaffair.com. Proceeds benefit the nonprofit part of the solution. Tell a friend, tell your church, tell everybody, but make sure you bring your father to a Father's Family Affair June 13th, the day before Father's Day at Philander Smith College. Get updates at afathersfamilyaffair.com. Together, we can rebuild and re-strengthen our communities, one father at a time.
Hey. You make me happy. Hey, this you can bet. Go ahead, Frankie. Go ahead. Go ahead. We have a good time here on the Weekly Sports Magazine every Saturday morning. You know, I started to open the mic. You know, I didn't realize this was an instrumental. You know, I was getting ready to jam with Frankie. Hey, I can cut a rug a little bit now. Those of you who remember back in the day, I used to sing, and I won a talent show with Philander back in the day. But I'm not gonna sing, that's a promise. But I love me some Frankie Beverly. I'm gonna tell you, look, I know he's getting up in age, and I've probably seen Frankie Beverly 100 times. Well, I'm exaggerating. I've probably seen him about 20 times. And I never am upset that I'm going to see him again. He gives fantastic shows. Those of you who have ever seen Frankie Beverly in concert knows. I remember years ago before I moved away, Frankie Beverly and Mays and Roy Ayers was at the Barton Coliseum. The night before, there was Lakeside and the Barcades, and there were two shows in a row. That's the first time Little Rock had done anything like that I can remember. Two different shows. There was a Labor Day weekend show. Everybody went to the Lakeside and Barcades concert. We came in, and I'll be quick with this show. And I went to both. And not that I was rich, but I happened to do a lot of shows at the Coliseum back in the day because I lived in that area. So I would sell popcorn and stuff. And the next show, I got free tickets. So when we got to the second show, there were hardly anybody in there. It may have been 1,000 people, if that many. I'm going to be honest with you. And everybody was worried about, oh, it's not many people going to be here. Frank is not going to show up. Frank is not going to do the show. Frankie comes out on stage, and this was the second time I had seen Frankie. I had seen him previously in 1977 with the Commodores and the OJs, and they did a great show there. But he comes out, this was a few years later, he comes out, looks at the crowd, he said, oh, bless your heart, y'all. I know what you're thinking. But we, Frankie Beverly and Mays, we here to perform, and we're going to do everything in our folder. We're not going to let you leave thinking that you got cheated. Just because nobody's here, tell you what, when you leave, you go back and you tell everybody what they missed by not seeing Frankie Beverly and Mays. And I'm going to tell you, they rock the house. And every time since I've seen them in Memphis, Dallas, New Orleans, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Nashville, 2 or 3 times in some cases, they've always given a great show. So, but love me some Frankie. That's my Frankie Beverly story. I got a lot of them too. During the time I was doing jazz. A couple other notes, and we're going to get out of here as well. I want to remind people that, let's see here. Remember, I think last week we talked a little bit about Adrian Peterson, whether or not he was going to end up in Minnesota. Well, guess where he's ending up? In Minnesota. Minnesota was in the catbird seat with that. They had all the cards. they were not going to let Adrian Peterson go. And I know there were a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans, and certainly Jerry Jones was simply chomping at the bit, hoping that Minnesota would say, hey, we'll trade him and give us this. I think Minnesota learned their lesson. What was that? Has it been 20 years now? 95, somewhere in there, when they did that with the Cowboys once again and basically got took. I don't think they were going to do that again. So Peterson apologized, and all is happy in the Minnesota Vikings camp. Fred Hoiberg is now the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls. If you had not heard, who knows how that's going to turn out? Who knows if whether or not Derrick Rose or any of those guys is going to really respect that. We'll see how that plays out. I just don't know. He's a college coach. That seems to be the new trend in the NBA for whatever reasons. Of course, Tom Thibodeau is no longer there at Chicago. Because he had problems with the front office trying to tell him what to do. So we'll see how that plays out as well. So that's going to do it for today. As I said, we're here every Saturday now, folks. So make sure you come and check us out. Make sure you tell some friends. Tell your husbands, tell your boyfriends, tell everybody we're here. And I also want to remind people, next week the show emanates from Philander Smith College as we do a Father's Family Affair. So I really appreciate you all joining me today. We'll be back next week. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for listening to the weekly sports page with dynamic David Coleman.
Oh, nice right. Ice cream. Alert. 654, Jose. Okay, 1-0.
Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10.
Richmond, 96 double. 96 double.
Until next week.
JC Loves and the Morning Crew.
It brings tremendous music, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. How you doing? Did y'all see me on TV last night? No. That's because you weren't looking. Yeah, I sure wasn't. Where were you on TV? Well, Oprah had she actually showed interviews last night. Very
Nothing. Go ahead. We were just, admiring your, internationalness. Go ahead. No, everything is fine. It's go ahead. You said, Oprah did what? Okay, go ahead.
Charging your morning.
You Tyler Perry's too darn hot.
Excuse me.
Too darn hot.
Okay.
When he showed his seat at high enough that you are local.
Now, go take on the day.
Hi friends, I'm Dr. Ellie Bragg's Chief Apostle of the Awareness Center DI, here to let you know that we're excited to join forces with the powerful network called JoyNet. Yes, the powerful gospel internet radio. We will be on every Friday at noon. That's 12 o'clock noon. Tell a neighbor and a friend, I'm looking for you to join us on JoyNet with some